There is no way he said this. Yes, teammates become enemies, but only temporary for the Edmonton Oilers as Matisse Ekholm and Connor McDavid face off when Canada takes on Sweden tonight at the Four Nations Faceoff. Yes, something that has been, we've all been waiting for the past week, ever since the Oilers did wrap up the first half of the regular season portion before the Four Nations Faceoff break ahead of this tournament again that we've all been very, very excited for. Well, most of us anyways. International best on best hockey is finally back, and we've just hit 2,700 subscribers, so we'd like to thank each and every one of you who have helped us along the way on the road to 2,800 and eventually 3,000. You can help do so by hitting that subscribe button down below for any and all Oiler content, and for the next week and a half, Four Nations Face-Off content here on the channel, representing each and every single Oiler that is on Team Sweden and Team Canada, which in reality is only 3. But without further ado, friend or foe, yes, McDavid and Ekholm tonight in Victor Arvidsson when Canada takes on Sweden at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Mountain on Sportsnet at the Bell Center in Montreal, which is one of the best atmospheres in hockey, and something that, for the very first time tonight, folks, Crosby and McDavid and Team Canada head coach Jon Cooper shared his excitement with that and his disappointment on how long it's taken, not just speaking as the head coach of the team, but also just as a pure lover of hockey and a fan himself. I mean, he's just marveling over this team. With a team like this, they almost don't need a head coach. They can do it all themselves. But Jon Cooper, the best in the league with almost one of the best teams in the tournament, he said it's been extremely unfortunate for us as hockey fans and for Connor as a player that this is the first time he's getting to play in an international event. I mean, he's been in this league almost a decade. I mean, he's 20 years old, and we haven't been able to see this. Sid, he's been the benefactor of having Olympics and World Cups and all these things happen every 4 to whatever years. Plus, he's played in World Championships. I don't want to say this is Connor and his coming out party, but it is kind of on the international stage, and hopefully we're going to the Olympics in a year and we get to see more and more of him. But it's been too bad that we haven't been able to see him more often. I mean, Jon Cooper taking the words right out of my mouth. Of course, the last time Connor McDavid on the international stage against professionals, that wasn't the World Championships. He was a part of Team North America in the 2016 World Cup of Hockey. So, folks, it has been quite some time. But for Team Canada and Sidney Crosby, you can see there his resume. 2 Olympic gold medals, a World Championship gold medal, the World Cup in 2016 in Toronto. Of course, the junior success there. So for Sidney Crosby, lots and lots of success on the international stage. But when it comes to Canada's lineup tonight, top to bottom, this is murderer's row here in the Four Nations Faceoff with Sam Reinhart and Connor McDavid back yet again together ever since they had their chemistry, ever since they were climbing up the ranks in the Ontario minor hockey system alongside Mitch Marner. And that should be a very, very explosive line to watch, with Sam Reinhart pretty much being the finisher on that line, and McDavid and Marner could create some magic in the second line, the speed and grit line here for Team Canada with Sidney Crosby, Nathan MacKinnon, and Mark Stone. Hopefully Mark Stone doesn't injure himself too much, otherwise Vegas will pull him on LTIR yet again. Did I say that? And then the third line, it is small but mighty here with Brad Marchand, Braden Point, and Seth Jarvis. Should be a very annoying line to play against here for all 3 teams in the tournament. Lastly here, the Tampa Bay duo of Brandon Hagel and Anthony Cirelli alongside with Travis Konecny. And of course, you see the forwards and think, well, it could get a lot better, can it? Well, this is where Canada's, deficiencies start to really shine here with Devon Toews and Cale Makar, Josh Morrissey, Colton Parayko, Shea Theodore, and Drew Doughty, unless, Canada plays Toews and Makar for 30 minutes a night. The defensive side starts to drop off a little bit there. Colton Parayko, I still have no idea how he made the team, but Doug Armstrong, lots of St. Louis influence with Parayko. And then Drew Doughty, of course, he's missed pretty much all of the season up to, I do believe it was 2 or 3 weeks ago that he came back with the LA Kings. So, of course, the international experience could be nice, but, of course, his flaws could be highlighted with some rust here with Drew Doughty's game. But, of course, Toews, Makar, one of the best, if not the best, defensive pairings in the National Hockey League, and that creates the backbone for this Team Canada defense, of course. So it could be a lot worse, but folks, it could also be a lot better. And then getting the start for Canada in between the pipes tonight is Jordan Binnington. And of course, he hasn't had a lot of success on the international stage. 4th place in the World Junior Championships in 2013, when Canada did not have a lot of success with goaltending at the World Juniors for a whole bunch of years, and then 4th place at the World Championships last year, going 6-2, but a goals against average of 2.89 or 2.81, and a save percentage of 885. So of course, again, like I said, Canada, top to bottom offensively, they should be able to outscore their mistakes, and of course, Canada does have, backup plans in net, of course, with Aiden Hill and, if necessary, Sam Montembeault. But goaltending has been the question mark ever since this roster was announced. And of course, they leave a guy like Logan Thompson at home in Washington. So for Canada, of course, goaltending is not the be-all, end-all, but it certainly would help to have more stability between the pipes. But I mean, with that offensive, the core there, that top six, just phenomenal. And not to mention the power play with Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon, Sam Reinhart, Cale Makar, and Connor McDavid. The only problem, there is only one puck, and even Connor McDavid kind of realized, hey, this is, lethal. But the one thing we told each other is that we have to shoot. At some point, someone has to. With so many playmakers out there, we have to keep that in mind instead of constantly setting each other up. Of course, be a little bit selfish. There is nothing wrong with that. If it goes in, it goes in. If it doesn't, well, you're probably going to get the puck back anyway, with how, how much of a monster these guys are with possessing the puck. But for Team Canada, again, should be an easy win tonight, I should say, knock on wood, with Team Sweden. They always, seem to come together as a cohesive unit no matter what tournament they're in, but it's all about, finishing in Sweden. Not a whole lot of success on the international stage, mind you, the 2006 Olympics, but when it comes to Sweden here, their center core a little bit weak, but the power is on the wings here with Philip Forsberg, Elias Pettersson, Adrian Kempe, Rickard Rakell, Mika Zibanejad, and William Nylander, who, if Sweden, wants any success in this tournament, William Nylander has to be the forefront of that. And then Jesper Bratt, Joel Eriksson Ek, and Lucas Raymond, and then Victor Arvidsson, Edmonton Oilers, with Elias Lindholm and Gustav Nyquist. And then the real strength of Sweden is goaltending and defense with Victor Hedman and Jonas Brodin. Mattias Ekholm, the Viking, next to Erik Karlsson, which should be a very, very interesting pairing. Of course, Mattias Ekholm is known for, being next to an offensively gifted defenseman, so he shouldn't be too far away from home here with Erik Karlsson. And then Gustav Forsling and Rasmus Dahlin. And then from the Minnesota Wild, Philip Gustafsson gets the start tonight for Team Sweden. Of course, he's had some relative success here on the international stage. Of course, a bronze last year in Czechia with the World Championships, lost to that 2018 Canada World Junior team, and then the 2016 World Under-18s, another silver. But when it comes to Mattias Ekholm and, giving advice to his Swedish teammates on how exactly do you stop Connor McDavid, well, you don't really stop him. You're just trying to limit his power. He says, well, I live in denial right now. He's just trying not to think about it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's been a while, obviously. I've gone against him before I got to Edmonton. But yeah, he's a great player. I play him in practice every day, so I've seen it firsthand. Obviously, he's not the only one that's good on that team, so it's going to be a challenge for us overall. It'll be interesting to see how that pans out when we're on the ice at the same time. Obviously, I want to win, and he's wired the same way. We won't be friends out there, but I'm sure afterward we can have a laugh about it, adding on to, the book on Connor McDavid. He says, I don't think he has any patterns where you're like playing like this. He's just so dynamic, so explosive. I really don't have any advice, to be honest with you. You just have to be on your toes at all times and make sure you don't end up in a foot race with him because he's fast. Of course, Mattias Ekholm, a man of many words here. Whenever he gives you an answer, it's very detailed. But with Connor McDavid, it is all business out there on the ice, folks. It's almost like he's taking no prisoners out there. He says he plays a hard game. I would expect him to play me hard too. I'm going to go at him too. It's the nature of the business, and we're here on different sides. That's just the way it is. They're incredibly important to each other back home with, Ekholm and Arvidsson. But as you said, ultimately, we're here to do a job, and we're not on the same team here. Of course, Connor McDavid, he is not mincing any words here. He's all business. He's all serious when it comes to representing his country on the best on best stage for the very first time, and that's something that you can only do once, right? And Connor McDavid taking that to heart, and we should see and elevated Connor McDavid on the international stage. I mean, with all the talent surrounding him, there's no reason why we shouldn't. But that is it for today's video. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the whole tournament and your thoughts for tonight's game. Any players that you're excited to watch next to McDavid in the power play. I mean, is it too lethal? Who knows? But Canada, Sweden, the Tre Kronor versus the Maple Leaf, the red and white in Montreal. Best hockey atmosphere there is in Canada. One of the best, I should say. So again, nothing. What is there? What else is there to say that hasn't been said already, folks? This should be a fantastic one. Of course, if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do so and enjoy the game tonight, folks. Let's go Canada. Take care. I'm Matt.